Is there any indication that we are seeing a slowdown of goods either in or out of American ports the last couple of months?
Well, perversely not. It's quite the opposite. And in fact, if you look at the biggest ports along the southeast coast, you're seeing about at least an 8% increase in the flow of goods and services. But the catch is, it's because of the widening of the Panama Canal. So you're having ships coming in that are 2 to 3 times the size that usually would have hit the West Coast that are now hitting the East Coast. If anything, you're seeing billions of dollars being invested in key ports like Savannah and Charleston, and we don't see it stopping anytime soon.
You know, that trade flow certainly has been a leviathan out there, but, you know, you wonder, is it really just a pull forward, Kathryn? You know, people are so spooked by tariffs coming that they're ordering extra goods to try to get ahead of it.
You know, that's a fair point, but the real demand is driven by the diversion of flow of goods from the west to the east. When you look at core growth, when you see companies that are doubling, tripling their investments, and if you use our own backyard, when you're having major PE funds pulling their real estate investments from Nashville, where we're based, to spec warehouse properties outside of Savannah, that's when you know that there's a real story behind there.
That's amazing. So we're actually seeing a flow of the, quote, smart money. I'm not a big fan of that term, Kathryn, but the private equity firms, they don't act like they're running away from a trade fight. In fact, it sounds to you like they're investing for the future in the increased flow of goods.
Yep, no, they're going to get over the pedantic debate of what's going to happen with the trade war and are getting straight to the business and following the dollars. And listen, you know, there's a lot of public companies that can benefit from this trend too. If you look at some of the trucking companies, 75% of goods are from the ports are shipped by trucks. So you've got Old Dominion and Landstar, and then you got some of the rails, CSX, that'll benefit. But then you think about it, Brian, you're going to be building out all those warehouses, all the infrastructure in and around. You got to have stuff to make that. So you've got everything from a Forterra with water infrastructure to a Vulcan and Martin and Summit for just your heavy rock to build the buildings that are going to support that growth.
Yeah, don't tell anybody, but Old Dominion Freight Lines is actually up 12%. The stock up 12% in a month, but don't tell anybody. Hey, quickly, I want to ask you about infrastructure because you and I normally talk about this. The president has kind of mentioned stuff, and it's not getting any attention given the debates and given the trade fight and everything else. But the Senate is quietly moving. Do you think we might actually get some kind of an infrastructure bill?
Yeah, that is originating in the Senate versus the House is the real story. The last multi-year highway bill was 5 years, which is going to expire in 2020, originated in the Senate. We think it'll either happen in 19 or 21, but it's not going to happen in 2020. So there is some hope, given that it's starting in the Senate. And of course, this is a bipartisan issue. So there's some real support on both sides of the aisle.